Alright, so we're on to the video notes for solving inequalities. And so we've already done our warm-up this morning, so we should have a little bit of background knowledge for what inequalities are and how they compare to equations. We're doing the warm-up, or the opening exercise together on the video notes. And then we're going to do example 1 on the video notes. So not too much on the video, and then after that we'll come back together. We'll do the last 2 examples as a whole group. Let's take a look. The annual county carnival is being held this summer and will last 5.5 days. I'm going to underline important things. So the carnival is going to be 5.5 days long. Use this information and the other given information to answer each question. You are the owner of the biggest and newest roller coaster called Gentle Giant. The roller coaster costs $6 to ride. The operator of the ride must pay $200 per day for the ride rental and $65 per day for safety inspection. If you want to make a profit of at least $1,000 a day, what is the minimum number of people that must ride the roller coaster? So I'm going to change colors here. Here's what they're asking. What is the minimum number of people that must ride the roller coaster? And the way that they want us to do this, they want us to write an inequality that can be used to find the minimum number of people, P. So P is going to equal people, which must ride the roller coaster in order to make that profit that the owner is looking for. So we're going to write the inequality in this area here. I'm going to use a different slide, but you guys just write right on your paper. So this is going to be very similar to an equation. The owner wants to make $1,000 at least. So I'm going to start by writing down 1,000. That's the profit that he's looking for. Profit just means money that you make or money that you're up. And then we know that P stands for the number of people. So we're going to write an expression over here to the left. We know that this operator will get $6 for every person that rides the ride. We also know that he has some fees he has to pay. He has to pay $200 a day to rent the ride. So that's going to be minus $200. He also has to pay $65 a day for the safety inspection. So here in red is an expression that represents the money made. He gets $6 per person, minus the $200 for the rental, minus the $65 for the safety inspection. Now we need this expression in red to be greater than or equal to 1,000, because the person who is running the ride wants to make at least $1,000. So now we have done our job. When they told us to write an inequality, we did that. You have your guys written right here. Mine's on a separate slide. Next says to solve that inequality. So you guys are going to show your work here. I'm going to show it on the other slide. You solve an inequality just like you solve an equation. So the first thing I would do is I would combine these two terms right here and make them one integer. So it's going to be 6p minus 265. We'll just make it one subtraction problem instead of 2. Is greater than or equal to 1,000. Next, we're going to get rid of the constant. So we're going to add 265 to each side of our inequality. These will cancel, and we get 6p, or $6 per person, greater than or equal to 1,265. If this was an equation, the next thing you would do is divide. So you're going to do the same thing with the inequality. We're going to divide by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1, so that leaves us with P. Or in this case, what P stands for, remember, is number of people, or the number of riders. So the number of riders has to be greater than or equal to 1,265 divided by 6, which is 210 and 5/6. Hold on just a second. So if you plug it into the calculator, it comes out to 210 and 5/6, or in decimal form, 210.83 repeating. But we're talking about people here, so you can't have a decimal amount. It's got to be a whole amount. So we need to round it up, or do we need to round it down? We would have to round it up, because with 210, he wouldn't have quite $1,000. So we can round that to P, or the number of riders has to be greater than or equal to 211. Last thing they want us to do there is interpret the solution. So we got, our solution was P is greater than or equal to 211. And they want to know, what does that mean? And here's what it means. To make or to profit of at least $1,000 211 or more people must ride the ride. So it could be 211 exactly, it could be 212, 213, and so on, as long as it's 211 or more. Okay, we're going to look at example 1, and then remember we'll do 2 and 3 together. A youth summer camp has budgeted $2,000, which means they have decided to spend $2,000 for the campers to attend the carnival. The cost for each camper is $17.95, which includes general admission to the carnival and 2 meals. The youth summer camp must also pay $250 for the chaperones to attend the carnival and $350 for transportation. What is the greatest number of campers who can attend the carnival if the camp must stay within its budgeted amount? So there's our question. What is the greatest number of campers who can go to the carnival if the camp must stay within its budget of that $2,000? So we're going to build an inequality very similar to how we did on the last problem. We're going to start off with what we don't know. What's our variable? Our variable is going to be C. It's going to stand for number of campers. It's our unknown. We're going to build 2 expressions. So first of all, what do we know? Do we know the cost for each camper? Yes, we do. We know it costs $17.95 for each camper. So $17.95 times C. We also know that the camp has to pay $250 for chaperones. We know they also have to pay $350 for transportation for the buses. So we have created an expression right here, and what this expression represents is the amount the camp will spend. Because they're going to spend $17.95 per kid, $250 on the chaperones, and $350 on the buses. that amount has to be less than or equal to their budget of $2,000. So once we do that, we have our inequality built. Now we're going to solve. So in order to do that, first thing I would do is I would combine these like terms so that we have an easier inequality. And I'll rewrite it down below. When we rewrite that, it's going to be 1795C plus 250 plus 350 is 600. That needs to be less than or equal to the $2,000 budget. Now we solve it just like we would a equation. So first thing we're going to do is subtract 600 from each side. When we do, we're going to get $17.95 C is less than or equal to 1,400. Last thing we need to do is divide. We're going to divide by 1795. I'm kind of running out of room here. But these will cancel. I'm going to move my work over here now. That would leave us with C on the left-hand side is less than or equal to whatever 1,400 divided by 1795 is. And you can go ahead and type that into your calculator. I'll see if I can make it work here. $1,400 divided by $17.95. We're going to get this mess of a decimal. We're talking about money, so you can go ahead and round it off after the hundredths place. So it's going to come out to $77.99. I'm sorry, it's not money. Take a look at C. I forgot what it stood for. C stands for number of campers. Sorry, I was a little preoccupied with seeing if this was recording still or not. C stands for number of campers. So our number of campers has to be less than or equal to 77.99. That's not a whole number, so we do need to round it. And so our number of campers has to be less than or equal to 77. We round it down because they won't have quite enough money for that 78th camper.